And thankfully, I did not get the backlash that Dave Ramsey got when he said the very same thing 2 months later in February 2021. Today we're talking about how Dave Ramsey is right, and so am I. Hello, guys. All right, so I wanted to address this, but Mike is really good at addressing this also. And we are talking about today how Dave Ramsey is right, but I was right
I like
first.
you, Dave.
All right. I said this back in December of 2020. Right now, we're in the middle of this is 2020. They're doing another stimulus check. Everybody's getting $600. They're trying to do $2,000. Let me tell you something. If $600 is going to completely change your life, you have bigger problems.
Yeah.
You have bigger problems than making it through just getting a stimulus check. This stimulus, I think this stimulus check is absolutely ridiculous. All right. Now, I said this back in December of 2020 when I was talking with my mom, and thankfully I did not get the backlash that Dave Ramsey got when he said the very same thing 2 months later in February 2021. Here's the thing, guys. If $600 or $1,400 or whatever the number they're throwing out there now, stimulus, is going to absolutely change your life, you have got serious problems that are way bigger than getting $600 or $1,400 that you have got to address.
Yeah. Yeah, if $600 is going to change your life, then you better be able to live on a $1,200 a year income. Because $600 for most people isn't even a fraction of 1 month's expenses.
That's barely groceries for most people.
Yeah.
Most people spend more than that on groceries a month. And
if that's if you're depending on that to save you from the bad financial situation, there are so many easier ways to go find some kind of way to bring in a lot more money to your family.
And we totally understand 2020 kind of blew a lot of people out of the water. We get that. But there are still jobs that are hiring. My son just went and applied, and 4 different places were hiring for this particular area that he was applying for. I go all the time, and I find jobs for $15, $20 that people are hiring for. You have got to just get up and get going and get yourself a better job. And even in the poorest of places, we have lived in those places. We lived in Idaho, and let me tell you, jobs were very scarce in Idaho. But you were still able to find work, even when there was none.
Yeah, mainly you have to be bold enough to go look for the work and ask for the work and not be afraid of people telling you no. If you're afraid that people are going to tell you no and you're going to feel like that means you're worthless as a human being, then you're going to have great trouble. You have to get past that and get to the point of saying, wow, somebody needs some kind of work done and it's going to benefit them, and how can I fill that spot? And then just go to them in a business kind of way and say, hey, I see you're looking for a whatever, and I think I can do that for you. And that way you're solving their problem.
Yep.
But if you say, wow, I'm afraid if I go in, they're not going to like me, and then it's going to reflect on me personally as a human being, then you're never going to be able to succeed, because instead of thinking about the business side, which is I need money and they need work done and they're willing to pay for it, instead you're thinking of how it reflects on you and if you're important in other people's eyes.
Yeah, and as long as you have it in your mind that the government is going to take care of you, you're never going to grow rich. You're never going to. And I am not...
Well, you'll never get out of any bad situation, because really, hate to tell you, but the government doesn't really care about you.
Yeah.
And the government is just a big organization that has a certain purpose, but the people that are in government, they're primarily trying to make you feel happy, so you vote for them. They don't really care how bad your situation is or what you're doing. Only you can do that, and you have to then take that you have to go out and act on your own behalf.
Yep.
Unless you're completely disabled and you can't get out of bed.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. We're not talking about people who are truly disabled, things like that.
Even most disabled people can do stuff.
Can
for
do
themselves.
something. Yeah.
And not only that, but when you do that for yourself, the amount of self-confidence and all that you get from having successfully done it will encourage you to do even bigger and better things.
Yeah. So the point of this video is to say you have got to stop depending on the government to save you for anything. If it's a winter storm, if it's an ice storm, if it's a hurricane, if it's an earthquake, if it's a flood, if it's a supposed pandemic going around, whatever is the crisis, there's always a crisis, guys. Always a crisis. And until you get it out of your mind that it's the government's job to take care of you, you are never going to be able to get up and get out of that hole that you're in and stay out of the hole that you're in. We were in that hole.
But you have to realize at some level, you care about your situation more than anyone else. And if you can separate yourself from the fear of doing bigger things, you can go out and find bigger things. And it's basically just turning over enough rocks, asking enough people, saying,
keep asking.
And focusing on what do you need? How can I help you with your business or your project?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, if it means starting a small business like dog walking or baking or gardening or selling produce or whatever, cleaning houses, cleaning windows, car detailing, anything like that, start your own business doing it. We've heard of car detailers who started with $50 with a shop vac and some cleaning supplies, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars now a year.
Well, it's crazy, but in America,
you can do it.
If you just look for things that other people need and are willing to pay for, that's the main key. And I would say in the majority of places in America, people pay a lot more for dog walkers than your $600.
Yeah.
And you get it every month.
Yeah.
And the same thing, any kind of other thing like mowing lawns, those are really common things, but they're things that a lot of people need and a lot of people are willing to pay a lot of money for.
Yeah. So guys, this is a pull up your bootstraps video. I know I'm a get it together kind of people, but seriously, you got to get it together and stop depending on the government to take care of you. You are the one that's going to be able to pull you out of the hole. You can do it. We have done it. It's not always fun and it's not always easy. But if you keep your mind on the prize, which is being totally debt-free and self-sufficient, you can do it. Right?
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Please visit us at livingonadime.com.